panic continues worldwide.
After the revelation that an alien race
To quell the unrest.
So said that the session
Humanity crisis before.
Home Office has neither to global defence.
is urging people to be calm.
As riots continue after the announcement.
Widely televised speech today.
Mandatory
Reparations for future generations.
Of money. We are doing everything.
Sects have emerged devoted to the Welshman have not determined whether these groups
Declared a mental health emergency.
An old friend might cheer you up.
What do you think it's like? People are killing them straight to hell. Have to die. Your daughter, why did you... Don't just sit there staring.
On this stage, where my father Beijing that year, a man, this slogan said, I ever agreed with the Red Guards about
You betrayed. Kill us all?
so that they could save. We lie, we deceive, dangerous to coexist with. I was
For all of us. That's not how you'll be remembered.
From now on, the real work of defending humanity, feet of the Santee, peace.
Here for a while.
I plan on fighting back. They can't do. They can't lie.
supercomputers the size of
Fine, let them do the worst, but do things. Let's learn from the fleet. We need to know the enemy.
398 years.
1% light speed might be achieved.
We are not them.
Now, there's only two soft ones.
Lou Cixin's book The Three-Body Problem is one that values ideas highly. It is concerned with science and takes the time to educate its non-scientist audience on topics related to particle physics. It is concerned with the existential anxiety that we may have as humans when we realize that we are not alone in the cosmos. It has a significant concern for human suffering. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and enable the notification if you enjoy our videos. Let's move forward. According to recent accounts, the Santee message to Earth has caused alarm all around the planet. According to the rumors, the arrival will occur 4 centuries from now. While Will Downing, Alex Sharp and Saul Durand, Jovan Adepo watch together, Thomas Wade, Liam Cunningham watches by himself. Jin Cheng, Jess Hong looks out her window at the devastation beyond and opens her shutters. Raj Varma, her boyfriend, Samer Usmani, joins her. Advertisements for The Stars Our Destination, TSOD are shown while Augie Salazar, Asa Gonzalez strolls around London's streets. The words, "We're not bugs," have been spray painted on posters promoting TSOD. Religious cults that worship the Santee are said to have started to appear. Benedict Wong's character Da Shi is horrified to see a row of persons who have hung themselves from the Thames lamp poles. Jin is shown inside Yi Wenji's, Rosalind Chowsell by Da Shi at the Strategic Intelligence Agency's London headquarters, the Black Palace. Jin is informed by Da Shi that Yi Wenji has not spoken since her lord declared that we are all bugs. Jin informs Yi Wenji that it's fortunate the cell is window and screen free. She inquires as to Yi Wenji's perception of the outside world. Jin goes on to say that a lot of people commit suicide out of fear. Those who were a part of Yi Wenji's group are included in this. Why had Vera Gotta die? Jin questioned. She queries if Yi Wenji gave the order to kill Jack Rooney. She asks Yi Wenji to explain why he is gazing at her instead of just sitting there. Yi Wenji claims that a poster was present on the platform where her father was slain. A man smashing a rock and roll record, Jesus, and Buddha with a hammer. Destroy the old world, is its motto. Create a new planet. Yi Wenji claims that's the only issue on which she and the Red Guards could agree. Yi Wenji is charged by Jin with betraying humanity. Yi Wenji is adamant that she phoned in order to spare our lives. Jin queries Yi Wenji's continued belief in this. Yi Wenji acknowledges not doing so. The Santee, according to her, discovered that humans are deceitful. We lie. They are unable to comprehend the darkness that is within us. Jin queries whether Yi Wenji ever considered whether it would be wise to welcome a more developed race to Earth. Yi Wenji claims that after seeing the route we were taking, she was prepared to take any danger. Jin queries who granted Yi Wenji the authority to decide on behalf of all people. Yi Wenji, according to her, was a brilliant scientist but would always be seen as a traitor. Yi Wenji inquires as to Jin's legacy. Jin responds, as someone who fought back. Wade and Varma established a center of operations in Witchwood Manor, IRL, Bramshill House, purportedly one of the most haunted houses in England. Wade tells a group of Nobel laureates and jealous fucks who think they should be to settle down because they will be discussing strategies for taking down the Santee. According to Wade, the Santee are genuine and on the way, despite what a depressingly large number of Neanderthals seem to believe. A specialist inquires whether the Sophons are blind to all that humans say or do. The expert goes on to describe the amazing things that the Santee are capable of. Wade, nevertheless, makes clear that they are limited in some ways, lying, for example. Moreover, their Sophon count is limited to 2. It is emphasized by another expert that these are sentient computers the size of Proton. Wade, however, claims that they are unable to produce more quickly since it required all of their resources to develop them. The first expert emphasizes how research is being undermined by the Sophons. Wade claims that they must improve the technology they already have. He adds that they should find out more about the methods used by the Santee. To find out more about the Santee, Wade advises going straight to the source. Wade's idea to point a telescope at their homeworld is questioned by the expert. Wade, nevertheless, intends to send out a probe to intercept their fleet. He compares the probe to the Earth-sent Sophons that the Santee dispatched. He claims they must discover things like the dimensions of their ships and their vulnerabilities. The probe would take 398 years to reach the fleet, according to the expert. The fleet is moving at 1% the speed of light, according to Wade, therefore they should aim for that. According to the second expert, it would need a century of progress to do this. Wade queries why, if humans are incapable of doing it, the Santee can. We are not them, reads the first expectation. Yes, Wade says, no, you're not. Wade informs Jin in a sumptuous chamber that he has heard she intends to retaliate. He declares that he will follow suit. According to Wade, there are just 2 Sophons. He has given the order for all particle accelerators on the world to run non-stop in order to keep them as busy as possible. Jin is asked how busy she believes the Sophons will be kept. Given that a Sophon can travel across the world in 18 seconds, Jin responds, not very. There are 2,000 accelerators, as Wade notes. According to Jin, if global trials are planned well, they might be able to occupy a Sophon for all time. It would be much better if they could construct an accelerator on the moon, where it would only take 3 seconds to travel. Even if the second Sophon will no longer need to be used for flashing the sky or showing retinal countdowns, keeping one Sophon occupied will still put a significant strain on the Santee's resources. Wade claims that Jin is already employed by him. Wade claims to be starting an investigation to catch the Santee. He goes on to say that he is working with some of the world's top engineers, but they're all fixated on feasibility. Wade dares Jin to use current technology to bring a probe to 1% light speed, or faster. At the channel's edge, Wool declines Saul's offer of marijuana. According to Wool, the pain isn't too awful right now. He doesn't have to be stoic, says Saul. Wool acknowledges that he is thinking about the idea of an afterlife. Wool informs Saul that he would like his body to be processed via a wood chipper. Is she okay? Saul asks. She claims to be. In the Ming Dynasty, the Chinese Navy built a gunpowder rocket with smaller missiles stored inside, Jin says to the Witchwood scientists. A medieval weapon that caused 20th century damage was the end consequence of this. Thus, there is historical precedence for using current technology to achieve cutting-edge outcomes. It will take an enormous amount of energy to travel at 1% the speed of light. Jin suggests supplying this with nuclear weapons. She is accused by one of the specialists of seeing too many Vin Diesel movies. Furthermore, the weight of a probe carrying nuclear weapons will make it challenging to launch it from the ground. Jin has given this some thought previously. In order to facilitate acceleration, the probe itself will be as light as feasible. Nuclear pulse propulsion is the term she appropriated. The route the probe will follow to approach the Santee fleet will be dotted with 1,000 nuclear bombs. She claims that current spacecraft could be able to place them. The probe will be mounted on a solar sail and have a modest mass. The probe will accelerate as it passes the nuclear devices. The probe will achieve 1.1% light speed after 1,000 explosions. She likens the explosives to stairwell stairs. The experts point out that the plan will cost trillions, be creative but untested, and perhaps violate nuclear armaments accords. Jin asserts that treaties are amendable. She says that the money is someone else's concern and that their duty is to address a scientific problem. The specialists have doubts. According to one of them, decades of research are the only practical method to reach 1% light speed. Wade claims that only Jin's suggestion raises the possibility that the speed can be attained in his lifetime. Wade promises to locate Jin an office. There is a shortage of inventory at a market. Saul remarks on how ridiculous it is to stockpile biscuits in anticipation of the arrival of aliens 400 years from now. A news article about TSOD, which has been offering wealthy people stars in the Milky Way galaxy in exchange for donations in the 8 to 9 figure range, diverts Will's attention. Saul too fails to grasp this. It's a space program fundraiser, according to Will. Will counters that at least they're making an effort, but Saul remains doubtful. The clerk remarks, "That's something," pointing out that some people worship aliens. According to Augie, the funds ought to be used to aid the living rather than finance a conflict that will take place 4 centuries from now. Will claims that envisioning a future war of the worlds is more thrilling than solving the issues we face now. When Saul requests for beer, the clerk responds that he has heard the bar could have some that evening. Will requests to pre-order 5 bottles of the upcoming shipment of whiskey, describing it as really good. He is told by the cashier that it won't be ready until the new year. Will claims that he will also be unavailable at that point. Wade and Varma talk at Witchwood. He is asked to open a window by Wade. According to Varma, Wade is testing him to see how he would respond because the window is sealed shut. Without any assistance, Wade strolls over and opens the window by himself. He gives Varma 2 minutes from now on. According to Varma, he felt that he behaved himself nicely in Panama. Wade proposes that he rejoin the Navy and inquires as to if he is seeking recognition. Varma claims he would like a job with Wade. Wade, he adds, must understand that administrative duties are not the place for someone with a background in nuclear engineering and naval strategy, but rather on the Space Fleet team. It had been 2 weeks since Varma learned about the Space Fleet squad. Wade claims that's when he ought to have arrived. Varma was careful not to go too far. Wade claims that there is no room for those who don't want to go beyond on his Space Fleet crew. Varma insists on joining the group. Wade declares that it's finished and goes on to remark that Varma would adore it on Mare Imbrium. Here is where the basis for the shipbuilding is being constructed. The reduced gravity ought to be advantageous. Jin brings a bottle and a goldfish, in a bowl, in a bag to the vacation house. Jin queries where Augie was and whether he has finished stalking her. Augie is taken aback that Varma kept it from her. Will, nevertheless, cuts you off. Jin gives Will a goldfish as a welcome gift, but he jokes that it's food. He claims he already has feelings for the young man. Will refers to the fish as Pushkin, a literary allusion. Augie later expresses her shock at Jin, working for that fascist fuck again. Jin claims to be aware of Wade's demeanor, but he is a fighter. Augie, though, is adamant that Wade is a killer. Jin is adamant that the Santee declared war on humanity through the eye in the sky. Augie wonders if Varma has told Jin anything about Panama while slamming glasses. To find out if he will be honest with her, she advises Jin to interrogate him. Jin nonetheless asserts that she must act since the Santee are en route. Augie responds that it's 4 millennia beyond them. She notes that several generations later, as well as everyone Jin knows, will be dead before the Santee come. Jin queries Augie's plan to just act as though the Santee don't exist. What is Jin working on for Wade? Augie asks. Jin claims that she needs a radiation sail that is less than 5 kilos in bulk and has an area of 5 square kilometers. Augie declines to assist. According to Jin, the nanosail is the key to everything, and only Augie can construct it. She goes on to say that they have access to never-before-seen resources to do this. Augie notes that the last time scientists had access to previously unheard-of resources, they accidentally produced Hiroshima. Jin claims that she is not creating a weapon. Augie says, not just yet. Jin meets Will at the beach early the next day. There's a brief pause before Jin replies that Will might have informed her. Will claims he didn't want to cause her any concern. Jin claims that had Will passed away without her knowing that he was ailing, she would have been incensed. She asks if she may remain for a few more days, and he says yes. Will tells her to go save the world because he won't put up with it. Jin gives Will a folded piece of paper that looks like a boat. She folds a second boat after that. She suggests seeing Will as one boat and Jin as the other. Jin then lowers both boats into the ocean, where the river carries them both away. She returns to her seat next to Will. They watch the boats disappear and grin. Saul meets Will in the living room 20 minutes after Jin leaves and inquires about how he and Jin ended things. Just like usual, Will replies. Saul queries Will about whether he intends to carry his affections for Jin into the afterlife. He advises Will to travel to London and express his feelings to Jin. Orby goes to join them. Will makes note of Jin's boyfriend. FC UK him, says Orby. Will is going to be travelling to London via train. He takes a pill and peers out the window. In the vehicle with Jin is Varma. Jin questions Varma about his lack of communication, particularly considering that they have been sharing the same security clearance for the last week. According to Varma, they haven't met. How can he be comfortable with killing 1,000 people, she wonders. Varma claims such individuals killed scientists. Research was put on hold so the Santee could exterminate the remaining human population. Is Jin aware that her job is a part of the conflict? Varma asks. Jin advises against equating her efforts with his. According to Varma, someone needs to perform the grunt labor. He notes that it was made feasible by Orby's nanofiber. According to Jin, Orby is devastated by what happened and is sobering up. They're fighting the same war, according to Varma. Saul takes a puking Orby to the bathroom in the middle of the night at the beach house. Saul comforts Orby while he tears. Jin and Varma reach their objective. Varma regrets not informing her sooner. Jin suggests that perhaps he is correct and she shouldn't be employed by Wade. However, Varma asserts that Jin's work is the one endeavor she just cannot abandon. They give a hug. Assad Will observes them hugging from across the street. After that, he leaves without saying anything to Jin. Da Shi goes inside Yi Wenji's confines. Her book is being read. She recommends Da Shi pick up a book. For the previous few weeks, Da Shi claims he has only read. He's talking about the transcripts of their Lord's conversations with Evans. Da Shi points out that Evans never brought up Vera with the Santee. This serves as proof to him that they are, in fact, meaningless bugs. Why then is Yi Wenji unable to explain to them why Vera jumped if they don't matter? Yi Wenji acknowledges that she sent Evans several sloppy messages. Vera's proficiency with computers enabled her to read the letter. However, Vera never brought up the topic with her. She claims she didn't even leave a note. Yi Wenji claims that she has not yet received a criminal charge. She promises to comply with no further visits or interrogations. Da Shi sees Yi Wenji's cell through the surveillance stream while smoking a cigarette. Wade sends him a message that says, "Granted." Da Shi notifies his helper that the prisoner can be released in 12 hours. Every 4 hours, Da Shi wants information on her whereabouts. When they are having breakfast the following morning, Orby informs Saul that he looks fine with additional weight. She says it's true that she thinks he looks good. It offends Saul. By enabling him to utter one hurtful thing to her, Orby helps him feel better. She's attractive, he says, but in a boring way. Will claims that Jin doesn't need him, rather, she needs Orby, and that the journey to London wasn't in vain. Will asserts that regardless of Jin's employer, Orby need to assist her. Jin pops a beta blocker at Witchwood. Wade won't like what she has to tell him, she claims. She tells Wade that the probe cannot be slowed down because of the acceleration brought on by the explosions. She claims that they would only have a little while to learn about the fleet. They also have to presume that the Santee are aware of the impending inquiry because of the Siphon. Wade is certain, though, that they will retrieve the probe rather than destroy it. He claims that they are sending a person, not a camera. A published Yi Wenji strolls across London's streets. She proceeds to give money to a charity that is raising funds for humanity, but when she realizes her wallet is empty, she apologizes. The aide to Da Shi follows her. Orby arrives via cab to Witchwood. She tells the gatekeeper to let Wade know that she's here. Yi Wenji gets to his house. She lights some candles and removes the bad fruit from the Vera monument. The aide of Da Shi is watching the home from outside. Yi Wenji speaks to the Santee within, aware that they have the option to hear her. She notes that because they are liars, the Santee no longer trust them. Yi Wenji admits that she, the first liar they encountered, is the reason the Santee are now attempting to exterminate mankind. I am an elderly woman whose outdated views have brought us to this awful destination. Yi Wenji claims that she still has some ideas, nevertheless. From the shore, Will stares out across the channel. After that, he steps into the water. He notices the two vessels. The boats are still drifting together, albeit they are now considerably bigger than they were. Will walks off the sand. He arrives at the TSOD building in the next scenario. He observes a montage of motivational human images on a full wall screen. Will explains to a worker that he has an appointment there. The guy promises to give him an explanation of the TSOD mission. Will, though, claims that won't be required. He claims to be there to purchase a star.